So here we are for the last best of 5 of this evening. Spawning to the bottom right on Abyssal Reef, we have our veteran of FSL, our Season 2 champion, spawning in orange, playing Protoss for Rival Gaming, and the US, it's Koshkii. And to the top left-hand corner, but already preparing for a proxy in blue, we have our newbie to FSL, who has actually done well better than a lot of people would have expected her to do. Playing Terran, it's Estatte. And she's going for proxy barracks, only one so far. So this might actually be only the beginning of a whole proxy building complex here, close to the third base of Koshkii. Koshkii already going for the probe scout. We'll see that no building is up that ramp close to the supply depot, which will already make her worry and rethink. Okay, has just planted down the nexus down here, so but by now she should know that something is up, double gas even, so it's probably going to be a factory build right afterwards. That's not only for pure Reapers, right? Okay, never mind. There's the factory, a little bit lower. So actually, should Koshkii actually realize that there's a proxy building, she might not see this building down here. I'm not quite certain. But we'll see. So Koshkii is just checking the typical proxy locations. One is over here. The other one, of course, is over here. And I'm really wondering why she's not actually sacrificing a second worker in order to find this here more quickly. Okay, doesn't find the proxy over here. First Reaper is out, making its entrance into the main base, and of course this will probably be Cyclones right afterwards. So the push is in, and the Estatte is trying to deal some damage with Reapers and Reaper grenades. Just moving around real quickly, making the best of that Reaper here. Okay, factory is done. And there's the first Cyclone. And another Reaper here, while the first one is healing up. Now both Reapers getting inside, but the Mothership Core is already there. So should these units come in too close, then the Photon Overcharge will probably drive them away. But again, more probes already dying. And I don't know if Koshkii is actually aware of what's going on. Now also Starport coming behind this, probably for Banshees or Liberators even. So let's see, Koshkii has to evacuate the natural base for now. Does not really have that many units out. Like I said, I think she hasn't identified what this is going to be right now. And there the first Cyclone is moving in. And now the Reapers and Cyclones will probably bring this Nexus to a fall. Even moving the SCV forward in order to get a bunker done, but it doesn't work for now. Estatte retreats, but only for now, having built another reactor and is now even getting a tank and more Marines and also a Liberator. So Estatte really being heavy on the aggression here. The Reapers move in once more. Mothership Core is slightly out of position. Forces out another Photon Overcharge there. And again, I mean, there's only a Stargate and a Gateway. So Koshkii not looking all too good against this aggression. There's the Liberator. But of course the Void Ray might help out. Was there a Void Ray? There was a Void Ray. So the Void Ray might actually help out quite a bit in order to deal with this force here. So Koshkii making all the right decisions there. Probably has prepared very well against her opponent, because I know that Koshkii usually does that. Yeah, and the two Marines themselves will not be enough in order to take this down. And now we'll even be able... Yeah, that was actually the other anti-air that Koshkii is kind of worried about. That's why she wanted to take down the Cyclone immediately. And now, of course, this force has gotten considerably worse. So yeah, now the only anti-air she actually has is the Cyclone plus a few Marines, and oh, the Void Ray dies though. But there's another one in the making. So now the bunker also goes down, and unfortunately all of these units are out of range of that pylon. Good were the days when there was still Photon Overcharge on a Nexus, and now Koshkii moves in with a lot of her units, also 2 more Adepts. wants to really kill that bunker before it goes down, or rather all of the other units here. Mothership core goes down, but it didn't really have that much energy or anything to overcharge anyways, and of course that is now kind of a problem here. Of course it's static D only, so the Void Ray can fly out of range, but these tanks hammering away on that Naxxis, while a natural base is almost done for Estatte here. Okay, the Nexus folds. Missile turret goes up, but the SCV gets taken out before it can finish the missile turret. But with the turret down, there are still more SCVs here in order to repair that. It will be very difficult for Koshkii to finally break this sieged up position, especially with more missile turrets being planted down. I mean, usually Void Rays would have been a good answer, but right now, with 3 siege tanks in position, the bunker plus 2 missile turrets, it will be rather difficult for Koshkii to break this. I think the best idea right now would actually be to take all of these units and just fly them across the map in order to deal some damage inside the main base of her opponent, but of course she also wants to keep these units safe. Yeah, that should actually be easy to take out that siege tank here. No problem, before the Marines can even get close to here. Yeah, I mean, a few Marines against a lot of Void Rays. Actually, the Void Rays, a little bit sloppy there by Koshkii. Moving out too far, even losing the 3rd Void Ray as well. So only back to 1 now. And again, this is not looking pretty here for our US Protoss. She finally has the gateways up and will be able to reinforce with a few more units. Has managed to sneak out a probe and do some counter-aggression. I think that will actually be the best thing she could actually do. Yeah, it's now even catching. Does she want to catch those? I think she rather wants to get inside the mineral line of this base here really quickly. And she does. Nothing back at home. Nothing. Like nothing whatsoever. So this should really be kind of difficult for Estatte to deal with. I mean, workers cannot really fight against Adepts. She pulls away completely here. Tries to buy some time for the rest of her army to get in. Koshkii in the meantime has of course also to micro on 2 different fronts. And Estatte is making this really well, just moving forwards with tanks here and forcing her opponent in disadvantageous positions. Totem Overcharge is fired up, but the Mothership core is really low on both energy and health points. Another Void Ray comes out, will probably be able to take out that tank and the other one as well. In the meantime, the Adepts trying to make their way into the main base of Estatte, and once they actually get in, the mining over here will be denied as well, which means a hold to the production of Estatte. But will she even need more production, or will these forces that are already in front of her base be enough, now even floating the command center over to the natural base of Koshkii? In order to get it mining there, we'll probably also move a few workers over there. Now the workers are moving away from the base. A lot of them get killed in the process, 10 so far. Again, the fight inside the main base here, granting the tanks vision with the Marines, while always moving forward and retreating, is Estatte here. And our Liberator is there as well. Setting up the ramp will be very problematic there for Koshkii to eventually break through. Koshkii just trying to find every possible location where the opponent's unit could still be mining. But yeah, it is over here. Koshkii might realize right now what is going on with the help of these pylons and also that one little probe over here. In the meantime, more and more units streaming across the map. Does she still have production? Well, at least tanks and Liberators can still be produced from whatever little mining she has left. I mean, mining right now is pretty low, should go to 0 in just a few seconds before this orbital command finally lands, giving her the opportunity to mine away at the base of Koshkii. So Liberator comes in. And yeah, the neck, or the bottleneck, gets tighter and tighter here for Koshkii. Koshkii trying to be patient, not trying to engage this too early on. Will take out the first Liberator, will take out most of the ground forces here, which would already be a big victory. The Mothership core dies. It didn't really have that much energy anyways, but still, it's another gas unit you don't really want to replace. And now, of course, the mining is again active for Estatte, so she has already started taking up the production as well, is also floating the orbital command towards Probably this location over here, or maybe that location, doesn't really matter, just bring it to safety. Now the tanks are moving upwards the ramp, and Koshkii just still trying to deal her best. Loses the first Void Ray, might actually even lose the other one. And the tank is just firing away at everything. Koshkii just loses her last army unit. And that should actually be it. Yeah, the last stand. Koshkii moving in with everything. GG! And Estatte takes the first map. So, we're back on Proxima Station. Spawning to the bottom left-hand corner in orange, we have our Protoss player Koshkii. And to the top, we have our Terran player in blue, Estatte, who, maybe a little bit unexpectedly, took the first map, which was Abyssal Reef, and is now leading 1-0 against our Season 2 champion. Let's see if she can do it again and maybe cause the first upset of this evening. I mean, we have to say that the Round of 8 fourth match has a history of the underdog winning throughout Season 1 and 2. Well, the supposed underdog, I would have to say there. In this case, though, I think a lot of people would agree that on paper Koshkii is the favorite in this match. And even heavily favored at that. So let's see. This time she moves around. We'll probably be glad to see the barracks inside the main base. So, barracks already building a Reaper. Koshkii is making sure that the base is not down yet. And Estatte is building the command center, while Koshkii has already taken her back pocket expansion. And is moving out with the probe. So, second refinery in the making. Factory build once more. So let's see where Estatte wants to go with this time around. First adept in production, and the mothership core will be there as well. 2 pylons in position that cover the complete mineral line with photon overcharge, if necessary. So the wall is tight, the reactor is almost finished. We have a factory and are waiting for a starport. And here it comes. So both just macroing up. Koshkii going for a Twilight and a Robo. The most standard Protoss build in PvT you can actually ask for. Supply depots being positioned just in case Koshkii wants to either fly in with oracles or drop in with warp prisms. Then this supply depot will give Estatte a little bit more of a warning time if she's constantly watching the minimap. And Dark Shrine right behind it. So let's see. Koshkii obviously will go for a warp prism drop using DTs. So this is going to be really interesting. Estatte, ooh, actually didn't really get the Reaper there. So Estatte has not seen that. Doesn't even know about the Twilight Council, if I'm not mistaken. So let's have a look. No, doesn't know about the Twilight Council, does not know about the Dark Shrine. Knows about the robotics facility producing something, though. But that's all. Liberator in production as well. So it seems as if, again, Estatte wants to go for a timing push, and that is where she is most dangerous. Again, I think we can agree that Estatte should stay kinda chanceless the longer the game goes. Should she have to play against... should she have to play a long, stretched-out macro game against an opponent that is supposed to be a good bit better than her it will be rather difficult. Warp Prism is flying across the map. Dark Shrine is almost done. The timing is on point here for Koshkii. And as the Dark Shrine okay, never mind, there is a little mine drop over here, and also over here as well, so the Widow Mine will get some hits. So let's see if Koshkii wants to clear these first, rather than... yeah, okay, wants to clear these first. Has an observer in position, here as well. There are the Dark Templar Warp-ins. So no turret over here, no turret over here. The engineering bay is only halfway done. We have some units in position, actually kind of a lot of units there. Okay, more DTs being warped in, 3 for now, and the Warp Prism moves in. Supply Depot will see that, but like I said, no missile turret over here, no missile turret over here. Engineering bay, now they're getting built. One over here, which will probably finish up before the DT can come close. And another DT gets warped in as well. So first DT gets out of the range of the scan, but like I said, the missile turret is almost done. Liberator coming back into the base. The Viking will actually clear this Warp Prism off, and the scan will not get this DT over here. 18 workers have been killed by this DT over my natural base, but Estatte is still doing a great job of moving backwards and forwards in order to get these DTs without dealing that much damage. But 18 workers was a lot of damage there. So now Estatte back to 23 workers to the 47 of Koshkii, who has almost completed her third base. Question is, will she have enough units in order to stop that push? Because it's, again, siege tanks and marines mostly. And more and more units being produced. So I think Estatte does not really want to move out right now. Ooh, even keeping this base from mining for even longer there. Really, really unfortunate there. Well, really, and now even moving out, but there's another turret over here, so unfortunately for Koshkii, the Dark Templar will not escape, but that delayed that second base from mining for so long. It's almost ridiculous. So she will probably wait for these upgrades to finish before she actually wants to move out, giving Koshkii the time to gather her forces that are not that plenty. We have to say so far. So I mean, Estatte is not out by any means. It's 34 army supply to 39. Where are the army? Where's the army? Okay, a few units still tucked back in the natural base. Well, actually only one adept. And more units being warped in. Yeah, actually very high-tech units, but not very many of them. And we only have one pylon over here, one pylon over there. A Warp Prism as well. I mean, Koshkii could still send the Warp Prism across the map and then just move in as Estatte moves out, which she does right now. Yeah, I like these Dark Templars. That's always a great thing to do. You just force out another scan of your opponent that may or may not be there. And if her opponent does not have a scan, you can just, again, kill off a lot of these units. Now, of course, she knows what's up. Might actually be able to intercept all of these forces before they can actually engage. That was a good idea moving out here. Yeah, we'll probably get that Liberator before it can even siege up. Actually, it does not have that much anti-air, so the Liberator really is a problem. So far, it's getting more and more Dark Templars, maybe even as DT, which is just a good thing. Just moving in once more, maybe stealing another scan there. Yeah, can actually, okay, there it is. Getting a missile turret for, either for, or both. For detection and of course for keeping air units away. But yeah, I mean, this position is pretty far away from Koshkii's base. So Koshkii does not really have to engage right now, can just wait a little bit longer. Is going for the extended thermal lance, also had the Templar Archives out. Could go for Storm if she wants to, but for now it's probably only a few High Templars for more Archons, so that she just will get rid of her gas a little bit, although she actually does have a lot of minerals left, which will probably want to have... Okay, that's because of that Colossus. The rest of the gas just got invested. And the army is again moving forwards the front slowly, bit by bit, which is Estatte usually likes to do. This slow leapfrogging style of tank marine play, which she's really good at. And Psionic Storm has been started, it's not being chrono boosted though. So again, Koshkii does not really need to engage too quickly, can just take out units one by one. She has a very sustainable force here, but has to be careful not to lose too many units to the stimmed biopower of the army here. And the stimmed bio is dealing some damage. Getting a few more units here. Speed lot? Is it speed lots? It is speed lots. So the only thing that Koshkii actually needs to wait for is her AoE. That's the only thing she needs. The first Colossus is out, will now move in and take out that Liberator. And with the Colossus here, I think she should be able to clean up these forces eventually. The Colossus gets target fire down. There's also a Viking here shooting, but the Immortals should easily clean up the remaining tanks there. And the rest of the fortifications. And now, this game looks fantastic for Koshkii here. Was still a very difficult breakout. I think a lesser Protoss could have died there to that heavy aggression that Estatte was pulling off on her. But yeah, I mean, right now, Estatte is on 2 bases while Koshkii is on 3. She's behind in workers like crazy because she didn't even try to reinvest into workers because her main base was mostly empty anyway, so she just put a few more workers over here. Didn't really bother to replenish, rather put everything into more units and trying to take her out. And Koshkii doing the smart thing after having annihilated the forces of Estatte. She now just takes a 4th base, plays it safe, wants to get more units up before she eventually pushes across the map. In the meantime, Estatte putting all her faith into Liberators, but Liberators are not as OP anymore as they were at the beginning of Legacy of the Void, where you could just build tons of Liberators in the mid-game and win anyways. So, another big push, and the last one. There's the boys being pulled. Storm should be ready, and we also have some available. We also have some AoE, well actually only one more AoE damage dealer. But it's only 1 tank, a Liberator, and a few SCVs to buffer damage. Yeah, this is Estatte's last stand. She knows that she cannot really win this game anymore. Playing a macro game, she would just lose horribly. And might actually now even get trapped. Yeah, most of the units not even there to buffer. The SCVs are not really where they should be. Most of the forces just get crushed. GG! And Koshkii ties the series 1-1. Third map of this best of 5 is Blood Boil, spawning to the top left hand corner in blue, playing Terran for Poland. It's Estatte. And to the bottom right, playing Protoss for Rival Gaming and the US. In orange, it's Koshkii, who just managed to tie up the series 1-1. Estatte thus picked Blood Boil to again take the lead, as she hopes. Blood Boil recently got changed. These used to be gold minerals, but they are blue minerals now. But then of course we still have the interesting back pocket expansion with more mineral patches, but 1 less gas. Or if you prefer to have more gas, you can just take the expansion in front of your main base. That is just a completely boring normal expansion. And again, Koshkii of course wants to move out pretty quickly with a probe in order to see whether this barracks is back at home or not. Taking the back pocket expansion, which he probably considers to be easier to hold. And the Reaper in the making for Estatte. While the Cybernetics core is being produced for Koshkii. And also the back pocket expansion for our Polish Terran. Barracks behind it. So we might actually see some mass Reaper play here. I'm not quite certain. This is maybe just the usual 2-1-1. But the positioning of this barracks is rather odd. So let's see. Estatte again putting the supply depot where a dropship, or in this case a War Prism, could get him. Reaper makes it inside the base. Okay, we'll actually get one probe kill. A little bit sloppy there by Koshkii. And there... Ooh, but gets it with the photon overcharge immediately. So Koshkii really quick with her fingers there. So let's see. It's a tech lab. Nothing unusual there. And a factory. So yeah, seems like it's just a normal 2-1-1 build. Probably going for a 60 marine drop eventually. Or maybe something else, we'll see that. But yeah, like I said, just a little bit odd positioning for the barracks, I feel. Never mind. Usually, a lot of Terrans just have their buildings pretty close up together and not that widespread. But yeah, I mean, whatever floats your boat, right? So, not really an important thing. So, Stargate behind this for Koshkii, so we might actually see Adept Phoenix. Well, actually the most used composition in the current metagame. We can still say, I guess. Oh, but first it's an Oracle. So, starport almost done for Estatte. Yeah, we'll probably switch that out. And like I said, just producing Marines, Marines, Marines! And once the first two medevacs come out of these reactored... of this reacted starport, there should be 60 Marines out. So you can just load them up and fly them across the map and then try to deal some damage. Either at one point, by dropping... excuse me. By dropping both medevacs into one spot, or just splitting them up and dropping two locations at once. But for now, the Oracle is making its way across the map. We have no eBay even up. So, whoa, these units are kinda out of position. And again, it could actually be the anti-timing. I don't know. I mean, if Koshkii waits for a little bit more, no, she does not. Had she just waited for like 10 more seconds, and now she will just take out the Marines, that was actually it. Has to fly out. Actually, even getting 2 more workers. Wow, these Oracles fire quickly, man. That is like crazy. And now Widowmine is there in place as well. So, Estatte is safe for now. Does not have anything over here, though. So, a second Oracle being rallied into the natural base could have really wreaked some havoc. So, there it is. Now we have the 2 medevacs out. They are loaded up with a lot of Marines flying across the map. Koshkii, I think, has just barely not seen this. I don't really know. I mean, even if she saw that, she does not react, so it doesn't really matter. So, with only Void Rays and 1 Photon Overcharge, well, enough energy for more Photon Overcharges, I don't know. I mean, this is actually the best protected place. Okay, Koshkii is moving out, tries to intercept. Oh, actually, we'll get the interception there. Very nicely done there by Koshkii. Has the Oracle in place as well. Not many units back at home. So like, okay, there's a turret now, so not that much that an Oracle can do. Although with a lot of micro, you can still just shave off a few SCVs here and there from the edges of the mineral line. And Estatte, of course, trying to deal some damage towards the 3rd base location. Void Ray still back here. Mothership Core also totally out of position, as well as the Adepts. So, with a good stim in, actually she might be able to just barely take out that Nexus. It is rather risky. I mean, if she goes for the Nexus, she really needs to take it down, otherwise she might just lose a lot of her drop there. Okay, and now Koshkii has just immediately moved towards the 3rd base, realizing that her opponent would not come in at the backside. Yeah, and this push again will just not do much. Good Widowmine connection though, just getting a good hit off at that Void Ray, but there's not much Estatte can do. I mean, this Void Ray is still, this Mothership Core is still alive. It has 3 overcharges available, and there's just pylons everywhere, plus a good ground force and 3 Void Rays there. So yeah, no chance. I mean, the Void Rays can just focus fire on the medevacs, and then the rest of this army is toast. So not much that can be done. Tagging the army there even. So yeah, this push is just useless now. There's not much that Estatte can do. Is already going for the full push out on 2 bases. Taking a 3rd behind that though. So pretty nicely done. And all of that with just barely 100 APM on average. So, moving in with everything Koshkii is right now. Will even intercept most of these reinforcing units, which could be kind of problematic, but the Widow Mines have already fired, and yeah, the Stimp Marines just stimming forward. I don't know if Koshkii actually wants to engage this. And the Stimp Marines might actually shave off at least that Mothership Core. Won't get the Void Rays though. Okay, we have a lot of forces back here. Unfortunately, the Mothership Core is dead now, so all of these pylons won't be able to overcharge, but still there's just way more than enough army units in order to take this fort out. No problem. And like I said, I mean, the biggest problem is especially that the medevacs can't really come that much closer because the Void Rays could then just shave them off. Still, the push might just still make some damage. The Widow Mines actually got some good connections here. Now the Archon is in front. We don't really have that much more damage on the ground. So Estatte might just barely be able to pressure through here. And now it's only Marines and almost dead medevacs due to the Archon fire there. Now, unfortunately, all of the pylons are down, so the Mothership Core can't even help out with Photon Overcharge. Koshkii has to pull the probes, and the blue line of Terran is just making its way across the map. It seems as if Estatte just caught our Protoss with her pants down, so to speak. Unfortunately, Koshkii not really taking care of that one zealot here. This base might fall, while the third base of Estatte is now planted down. And more Marines streaming in. We don't have any AoE. And I mean, at some point in time, it becomes really problematic to deal with this kind of forces here. Koshkii has to retreat completely into her main base, but there's only one Archon available as splash damage. And more units are streaming across the map. So it seems as if Estatte just managed to barely break through with the help of some good Widow Mine connections there. That just hit a big chunk of Koshkii's army right at the wrong position. GG! And Estatte takes the 2-1 lead. Odyssey is our third map. Spawning to the top left-hand corner in blue, we have Estatte. And to the bottom right in orange, our Protoss player, Koshkii, who's down 1-2. And needs to win 2 in a row in order to advance. So, Gateway Gas. And Estatte going for the barracks at home. So, Nexus being planted. The probe will see no base down here, but we'll see a barracks inside the main base. So, Reaper on its way. Does not even care about this probe up here. And Koshkii just getting all the good tech. Nothing unsuspected.
Game paused.
Oopsie daisy. And there we have a little pause. Estatte told me in the early beginning that she was having some troubles with her internet, so maybe she's experiencing some spikes. Okay, try to change internet. I don't really know if that is possible. I mean, if you change internet, you actually just have to cut one connection, right? Okay, then probably she's just changing some settings, maybe. her English is not the best. Okay, and here we are back inside the game. Command center on the low ground, and the Reaper is already on its way. Koshkii has the cybernetics core down, is not producing any units except the mothership core. Really wonder what she wants to go for. Gets a really quick robotics facility though. Well, this Reaper won't really accomplish much. Nexus is safe, mothership core is out now. Okay, we'll intercept the Reaper. And the probe is moving backwards. So first few probes, whoa, already trying to work here with the Reaper pretty close and the mothership core pretty far away. So Reaper will at least get one probe kill. Might even get another one. Nope, the Adept is out now. So Estatte sees this and retreats immediately. So Starport almost done. Factory is already producing a lot of Widow Mines, so we're going to see a few Widow Mine drops once more. Koshkii not really that prepared, doesn't have a pylon over here to photon overcharge. Has two over here. Detection will be out in just a few seconds. And way before the drop actually hits. So we'll see. She has one Adept in position at least. But that will not be able to take out Widow Mine before it burrows on its own. So, the two observers are out. So Widow Mine drops shouldn't deal all too much damage. And another Dark Shrine. Yeah, I mean, Koshkii won the only map she's won so far. She won with DT drops. So she might actually be able to win this game as well, using the same tactic there. So the Warp Prism is already on its way, and again it's going to be a very, very nice timing there for Koshkii. Will hit right at the spot, and this could cause a lot of trouble. Of course, at the same time, the Widow Mine drop will probably also hit, so Koshkii might again just have to delay her own push for a little longer in order to deal with these pesky Widow Mines. Well, I mean, this is pretty secure due to photon overcharge. Over here we only have one Adept, so she might actually lose a few workers here or there. But let's see. Everything else should actually get cleared up pretty easily on its own, mostly. Here it comes in. Koshkii not reacting, unfortunately, right now. And now the Widow Mine see the Dark Shrine as well. So yeah, Widow Mine gets one good shot off, and another one even. 7 workers so far. And unfortunately, oh no! One of the Widow Mine connections even hit the observer, so now she doesn't have any vision over here, needs to re-establish one observer, is warping in at least one Dark Templar here, but of course observers also cost money and time, is now also trying to handle everything at 2 sides, but in the meantime the engineering bay and the turrets are out on both spaces, so I feel that Koshkii will probably not be able to deal that much damage this time around as she did in the second game. Yeah, a lot of turrets here, even more turrets, really made everything totally secure in order to make to really nullify the investment that Koshkii made. Unloading the DTs at least in order to maybe get some damage done, but Estatte is also just saving up most of her scans now, most of her energy, so that she will be able to move out and will not have to deal with DTs. Okay, just splitting up the DTs, making safe that her opponent is not going for a push out, and will probably send the third somewhere over here so that she will realize once her opponent moves out. But yeah, I mean, Koshkii definitely on the back foot right now. She has 11 less army supply, way more workers though, so that's something that's going for her, but the question is, will she be able to actually hold the push when it comes once again? Because that so far has mostly been her problem, that she just didn't have quite enough units in order to stop her opponent from pushing in. So let's see, third base is saturated, but it all doesn't matter if you can't stop the advancement of your opponent. Yeah, more and more units in production. Estatte again, just going for the 2 base all in. Once more. No third base inside whatsoever. I mean, she might eventually build one later on, but yeah, this is totally looking like all in. Could actually just probably grab all of her stuff and all the boys and then just crush through. Because there's not much AoE for Koshkii so far. Templar Archives just in the making. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. The push is coming. Koshkii will see it. Knows that it's there. Might actually even know. Okay. Unfortunately attacking the wrong unit. Could have maybe gotten a marine or two. And then the heavy push is coming. And I mean, look at this. This is not much. This is really not much. We only have like 2 Archons for splash damage. We have a few speed lots and a few more adepts incoming. The mothership core is out. And even more pylons being produced. Yo, that's actually a good catch here. Getting one medevac and maybe even the Liberator before they can even siege up. So another DT just coming in, trying to attack from behind, maybe forcing out another kill. Oh! And losing the mothership core once more! So the Photon Overcharge won't be available again, and now the tanks are sieged. Koshkii has to take that fight over here, but will it be enough? I mean, the Immortals just trying to tear everything down, and it seems as if Koshkii will hold. Speedlots just tracking through everything. The reinforcements will just get intercepted, and Koshkii suddenly with a 120 to 70 supply lead. So that again should probably be it. That's how easy it sometimes can be. Well, at one point you just don't have enough army units in order to stop your opponent. But then again, you just do have enough in order to break through. And yeah, I mean, Koshkii doesn't really have to force an engagement there. She's on 3 bases, comfortably taking a 4th, while her opponent is still on 2 bases, working on a 3rd base that should actually, like, never see minerals to mine from, if Koshkii is paying attention. Yeah, just checking for a base over here, base over here. Actually, after checking for that base, Estatte now could fly down, because Koshkii will probably not check that quickly once more. But I think Koshkii really wants to end it up here. I don't know if she should actually engage. There's Liberator, at least only 1 Liberator, but there's a second one incoming and will probably be ready and set up before she can move in. There is a missile turret. Koshkii sees it, so she does not really want to move in her observer too far. And what with the tanks? Does she actually want to move out? Oh, and there we have it maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah, Estatte lagging out. Oh, or maybe not. We'll see. Koshkii's moving in, yeah, I mean, this was like the worst timing for an unsiege. Yeah, this will just... all will die. Everything will die in here. No way for Estatte to hold this. More and more units coming in. Even if she holds her main base, the natural is forfeit. And all the workers within it. Yeah, I mean, the tank will provide a little bit firepower from above. GG! And Koshkii ties the series 2-2. The last map of this best of 5, it's 2-2, and we're on Sequencer. Spawning to the bottom left hand corner in blue, we have our Terran player from Poland. It's Estatte. And to the top right hand corner in orange, our Protoss player playing for Rival G in the US. It's Koshkii. Whew. Both players need to win one more in order to take home the series. Again, the 4th match proves to be a nerve-wracking series, and Estatte is going for another proxy. So let's see if Koshkii will actually scout it, is taking the direct route. Could have just barely seen it. I mean, it's no wonder that Estatte wants to go probably into the same push she did on the first map, because it worked out so very nicely. So Koshkii will see it once she arrives with her probe at the main base. Will actually then already figure out that it's going to be the same push she did on map 1. Going for a base. Has the gateway out, but no mothership core, no cybernetics core yet. So we'll see. Koshkii just moving around. Not checking for anything else. Yeah, and again, Estatte just moving away from the barracks. Should that get spotted, it doesn't automatically mean that the factory gets spotted as well. But yeah, I mean, a player only has that many openings. So once Koshkii realizes what's up, she should kind of expect what's going on. The question is, will she be able to hold it? Will she react correctly and hold it? That's the question here. Reapers in construction. Her opponent is on one base, not building anything. Okay, there's another worker. But mostly supply depots and units. So let's see if Koshkii can hold this one more time. Or if Koshkii can hold it actually for the first time and win the series. Or if Estatte will win 2 maps using the same strategy. Ooh, Koshkii actually cancelled the base even. So she definitely knows what's up. Okay, did not see anything over here. Sees the base, sees the barracks now. 2 Reapers out so far, but there's also a mothership core. So the Cyclone is in production. Starport incoming. Yeah, it's the very same thing. Okay, moving in. The Zealots won't really do that much. But the Stalker and the mothership core together will drive these units away for now. But Koshkii needs units. She needs units like crazy. Going into robotics facility, that should help her out a little bit, but she knows that Liberators will come eventually, so she also needs something in order to deal with those. That's why she keeps producing Stalkers for now. They are actually good against everything that's here, except for the Cyclone, but it's only 1. So the 1 Cyclone does not really make any difference. And that's actually a great move out here. Very quick reaction there by Estatte. Yeah, I might actually just get a good shot off on a lot of these units before the rest comes out. I mean, attacking this won't really help. Would be better to get the reactor instead of the barracks. She will probably not be able to kill this. Okay, but for now, getting the SCVs is also a good thing. No bunkers so far, and also losing 2 more workers. Now retreating a little bit, knows that her opponent is probably doing something, but Koshkii is supply blocked right now. Okay, trying to attack this reactor from above, that's actually a great thing here. Getting that reactor would be huge, hindering this production. But now, of course, the push is coming, and Koshkii does not have that much. Now the Liberator is set. The units cannot come back inside the main base. She will actually try to take down this barracks completely, which would still be a good thing here. And yeah, unfortunately the overcharge does not reach far enough in order to take out that Liberator, which really sucks, but there's not much she can do. Is now probably trying to get the Liberator done, but loses all of her units in the process. And that was a little bit too impatient there. In the meantime, 1 more SCV has arrived at the front, with even 2 more incoming. Yeah, and Estatte keeps pushing into the base. Yeah, Mothership Core trying to take out that siege tank over here. I don't really know if Koshkii can actually still hold this. I mean, she's pretty behind in everything. Just loses this pylon as she tries to get it up. I mean, it's kind of difficult for Estatte to engage into this, but at some point she doesn't even need to engage anymore. She can just easily contain her opponent and take a base of her own, if she so desires. But this SCV looks like it wants to build a base, because we already have 500 minerals up. And in the meantime, she keeps pressuring, just has to lure her opponent into siege tank fire! And the Stalker's taking some heavy shots there. Well, at the same time, Estatte really trying to get everything done she wants to do. This SCV has been ready for quite some time. Trying to get a bunker here, but that will never get up. Yeah, that of course is way more difficult. Where the hell was the... Okay, never mind, the Liberator was... well, how far can they actually see? Whoa. These Liberators are really granting a lot of vision. And now a second Liberator comes in. Koshkii unfortunately has been losing more and more units here and there. I mean, her opponent cannot really push upwards that ramp, but Koshkii just keeps donating units left and right. A little bit by a little bit, and it will become more and more problematic to eventually engage this. Now we finally even have some units standing on that ramp, so she will have non-stop vision of everything that's happening up here. And now for Koshkii it will even be impossible to engage that army at all if she cannot take it out. I mean, once she engages, she has to be certain that she can actually take it out. The Liberators just firing away at these Immortals. Koshkii was trying to buy herself some time by taking out at least that tank over here, but one tank does not really mean much when the next one is already incoming. But yeah, I can't really see her doing that much. I mean, she doesn't have anything against the Liberators. Liberators now really being the biggest problem. This push is really powerful and problematic for Protoss to deal with, because you just need so many different units in order to deal with all of the units that Terran has. You would actually need some anti-air, but mostly some anti-air that doesn't have to walk through liberation zones in order to take this out. So actually in this regard, I think Koshkii's opening with a Stargate last time around was actually better, and she's trying to desperately get one. But by the time she actually has the Stargate, I think it will already be too late. Now trying to get the Adepts downwards here in order to deal some more damage, but yeah, I mean, they just get shreked by these siege tanks here, and now the rest of the army falls as well. Seems as if Koshkii will lose this game, because right now she's down to full supply to the 41, is on one base. Her opponent has already built her second one, is not lifting it, but she does not even need anymore, because there's nothing she can do. Estatte will now just move in with the remaining forces. This tank at least dies, but it's only one of many. And, I mean, her army is dead. Her army is just dead, and she doesn't even have enough resources in order to build anything. And this time around she doesn't even have the chance, or didn't even have the chance, to apply some counter pressure like she did last time. GG. And Unfabulous takes the game for a 3-2 win.